my God, it's Sunday. I can't even believe it. Listen, we left the studio for a couple weeks. Everything was in pristine condition, and we got back, and it was like someone unplugged all our shit. But look, Bagger Bader says, don't worry, we've been carrying you. Bill Stevens, hello from a campground in northern Michigan. Up in the UP, baby, getting them pasties. Steve Broyles from the D. He's in from the D. Jeremy Sather, good evening, folks. Good to see you here. Paul Adams checking in from Ford City. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Chris with Cycle Source Magazine. I cannot tell you how glad I am to be here because it was touch and go for a minute. It really was, but great show lined up for tonight. We got tons of stuff to talk about for your favorite two-wheel talk and entertainment show, Shop Talk, coming to you live this Sunday and every Sunday around 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Well, Jesus. I'm not even sure who was in first tonight. I always like giving that little word out for who got in first. I'm not even sure. Greg White's here, though, and that's all that counts. Scooter in the house. Good to see you here. Hey, man, if you're watching wherever you're watching from, any of the 15 channels at Cycle Source broadcast from, all over social media land, make sure you tell us where you're at. Let me give you a little shout out. We get a kick out of it here. Evil Rick, it's all good. We spent the time talking about the weather. Jesus, God, my brothers in Texas, I've been calling and sending a message one at a time, but my God, that was terrible. Gus, I know you're okay because I was talking to the X-Man. We hit up Steve Klein up in Liberty Hill, and everybody's okay that we've been known, but we're sending prayers. We're sending mad prayers because Texas sure did get the shit knocked out of them this last storm. But hey, like I said, great show tonight. We have the privilege of talking to a superhero tonight, an indestructible man, virtually indestructible. We're gonna get him a little costume made with a big G on the chest for Gumby. But that's a whole nother story. Don't go anywhere. We got a minute and a half left until we go live with this one. That's just enough time for you to hit the like and share. Let your friends and neighbors know that we're going live with Shop Talk just like we do every Sunday for 314 issues, and mostly on time, believe it or not, mostly on time. Josh Collins is here with us. Good to see you, Josh. Can't wait for Smokeout, baby. I know you're in. Oh my God, there's so much going on. Summertime is in full effect. You trying to talk? Go ahead.
Come on, it's taking forever. Hurry up.
We got 50 seconds.
We're back. No, come on.
Okay.
And don't ever say Poppy is in the D. You can't say that anymore.
Why?
Because every time you say the D, I think of my dear friend.
Your what?
My dear friend who, when she has a few too many cocktails.
Oh, the D. No, not that.
Yeah, don't
D.
say that. Let's not go there.
Jesus. This is why I didn't have your microphone on to begin with. All right, man, listen, we got 20 seconds left on the clock. I guess that's enough time to get this one out of the station, up on the tracks. Let's go live with this week's episode of Shop Talk. Here we go.
Welcome to Shop Talk, your all-access pass to the heart of the motorcycle world. Every week, we fire up the mics with riders, builders, legends, and celebrities, bringing you raw stories, wild rides, and real talk from the road and the garage. From custom builds to killer events, we're covering the culture that keeps your wheels turning through the week. New episodes drop every Sunday. Watch on YouTube or listen wherever you get your podcasts. This is more than a show. It's the sound of wrenches, good times, and the open road. This is Shop Talk. Now available on Cycle Source TV through Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV, Android TV, iOS, and Android.
Okay, scooter tramps and chopper jockeys all across the land. It is way past 9 p.m. on the East Coast. It's way past 9 p.m. or 8:30 here in Mitchell, South Dakota, where we sit high upon Television Hill in the Clockworks campus. Grateful to be here either way. Like I said, we were having a couple gremlins when we came back in the studio from our couple weeks off. Annie is here. Annie, what's up, Annie? So good to see your name come up on that screen. Every week when I see it, I'm just grateful and filled with gratitude. Thank you for being here with us. Lots of stuff to get to tonight, but I'm going to cut right to the chase of the bullshit and bring in the crew.
Heather, your mother's watching.
I didn't. I said the D. That's all I said.
Oh, we all know.
Did you say the D or the V?
No, I didn't say that. I did not, and that does not come out of my mouth.
Mark, do you see this thing right here?
What is it?
It says motorcycles and coffee.
No.
Wait a minute, I gotta just tell, I missed everybody. I missed being here. I did. I
Is
missed
that
everybody.
it? You got more? I was trying to show Mark, because you know how much I like my coffee, right? Look at that. See
You're
that?
spoiling it.
See that?
Oh my gosh, he
Come on,
can't keep
I'm
any
not getting
secrets.
nothing
No
nice.
surprises. Nothing.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that later in the show, man. But listen, what's been up? Because we have been everywhere. I'm almost out of breath from thinking about this, let alone talking about it. So we started out, we went to Laconia against my own best judgment. Like I was just, Laconia is going to suck. I almost want to say I hate Laconia. And then we get there, dude, and had the absolute rally of a lifetime. We rode 1,000 miles. We rode every great road in Laconia. Laconia, that's also known as Rainconia,
Didn't fit.
only had one afternoon of rain. The entire time we were there, it was beautiful, sunshiny. Charlie even had new pants, Mark.
Holy
my
crap.
Wasn't a
So
single tear
here's
in his
the thing.
pants.
It was a great, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but if you've been, you'll get it. It was a great rally because we didn't really go to the rally. We just rode everywhere. Like, we just rode motorcycles. It was great. It was awesome.
We had the occasion that we visited the rally. Like we went and did some Main Street stuff, on the boardwalk at the Weirs.
Oh, the T-shirt strip?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But really,
forget normally when we're in Laconia, we don't do anything but work from the
I
moment
know.
the sun comes
Yeah.
up till
dude, it
it's-
was so
when you
so good.
And all we did was ride
It
motorcycles.
was so good.
was
We
awesome.
rode
Yeah.
the Kankamangas. We rode the Bear Notch. We rode the Mount Washington Auto Road the entire way to the top.
Sketchy.
nice.
Dude, it was so.
Sketchy.
If anybody doesn't know this, the top of Mount Washington in New Hampshire, not the highest peak in the United States.
Nope. But the most treacherous weather.
Pikes Peak doubles it at least, I think. But the highest recorded wind by man, wind event happened there 232 miles an hour. I believe
Oh,
is
no
the
crap.
yeah. They have a weather station on top
It's
of the
literally
mountain.
chained to the mountain.
Giant chain over top of the roof. The building itself is chained to the mountain.
It's
Insane.
crazy.
Choo.
Yeah, like 3 days.
nuts.
It was 48 degrees when we got up there, but 3 days before, because I kept tracking the weather, not knowing if the road was going to be open or not, it was -6
Choo.
up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. The weather up there is some of the most they say some of the most volatile weather on earth because it can change so quickly.
So listen, before we get too far into this, because Robin Higginbottom just reminded me, yes, absolutely, prayers. Everybody, please send your prayer energy out to Texas for everybody dealing with the flood and for the last time I checked before we came in to get ready for the show, there was still no news on those 20-some young girls that were at the camp, and
The school.
that's
Camp,
just
yeah.
absolutely heartbreaking. So
I couldn't even imagine.
yeah, terrible. Terrible. Our hearts and minds are just occupied completely with Texas. But if you have anybody there, make sure everybody has what they need. Reach out, tell everybody. We're all willing to help out. So
Better yet, if there's somebody you haven't talked to for a minute,
give
just
them
say
a call.
hi. Give them a
Yeah,
call.
Amen.
Just check in. Tomorrow's not guaranteed, so just
Hey, so I want to remind you guys, while you're watching the show, you don't have to be just another effing observer. This thing over here, this box, it's connected to all 15 social media accounts, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching from. You can put your comments in and interact with us on the show. So if you have a bitch, you have a little bit of praise, or you have a question, concern, whatever it is, pass it on there, and we'll get to it throughout the show. Going to be a great show tonight. Like I said, we have some really neat stuff for you as far as videos we're going to get to and the guests that we have on. But just like always, if you don't know about Shop Talk, this is something we've been doing for quite a few many years. And we squeeze in 90 to 120 minutes, all the two-wheel bullshit we can fit is what we say, but it's some entertainment. We have a guest or two, and we usually start the whole thing off with
the news.
There you go. First up in the news tonight from Power Sports Business, motocross star breaks world record for longest motorcycle jump to flat landing. Now, it's one thing for old Trigger Gum, and the last time I saw him set a record where it was ramp to ramp. When you're landing flat, baby, you gotta be a man and a half.
200 feet on the dot.
Now it says that Raha picked up speeds of 110 miles per hour from 50 yards out before launching himself and successfully clearing 23 BMWs landing 197 feet away. The jump broke a 51-year-old world record held by Bob Gill, who completed a 171-foot jump in 1974.
Jeez.
Far out, right? Modern day Evel Knievel right there. I'm sure everybody's saying that to him.
That's holding the record for a long time, too.
Yes, sir. Next up in the news, and near and dear to my heart, S&S Cycle signs on as official sponsor of the Donnie Smith Show. Look at that. Good for them, man. Let's send out a big hell yeah for that. And there's a shot of the S&S vintage tour bikes that were at Donnie Smith's this year at the 37th Annual Donnie Smith Show, which is held in St. Paul, Minnesota, 28th to the 29th of March. Symbolized the unofficial kickoff of the upcoming riding season. The annual show draws thousands of spectators to see the custom bikes and meet with vendors across the country. Always a good time, always great to see what shows up there and who does. To see S&S's renewed commitment to that show is incredible, and we congratulate them and Donnie Smith's show in the procurement of that deal. It's good for the whole industry right there. So, Mark, do you know that the sonic boom hit Sturgis?
Stop already.
I'm telling you, listen, that was the sonic boom hitting Sturgis.
Oh, you're such
a dick. You can say it.
No.
Dealer News, sonic boom hits Sturgis. Dealer News reports on the fact that the very first motorcycle has been officially sold from Sturgis Harley-Davidson. So, of course, we're making light of this situation, but it's actually a really big deal.
It is. I got to tell you, I don't think it ever clicked in my little pea brain that Sturgis Harley-Davidson had never actually sold a motorcycle in 85 years. I just assumed that they sold motorcycles. It's Sturgis. It's like the motorcycling mecca of America. And they didn't sell motorcycles.
I know one person that's probably not happy about it is up the street at the other guys. They're probably like, son of a bitch.
I'm like, well, damn.
Here we go again.
Oh, good luck to them, man. I'm sure it's going to be interesting. Definitely have to stop by while we're out this year and check in with those guys and maybe bring you guys a little report from there. Also in the news from Dealer News, we get the information for Rights Riding Racing. AMA recognizes inherent risk. American Motorcycle Association charter spells out the association's Rights Riding Racing mission in order to promote the motorcycle lifestyle and protect the future of motorcycling. AMA has championed the inherent risk bill, making its way through various legislators. Texas became the second state this year to sign motorcycle-focused inherent risk legislation into law.
So basically, you ride at your own risk. Like, if you want to participate in stuff, unless, like, the person hosting your event is completely negligent, you ride at your own risk, which makes sense.
Which is a great idea, because what Heather's getting at here, a lot of people don't understand. It has become so expensive to buy event insurance, to do races, rallies, all this different stuff that goes on, that it's the reason why there's not more of it anymore. It's the reason why everything is going back underground, because it's a ridiculous cost for anybody to do this. And I mean, this is not just something that should be examined on the motorcycle level. This is something that, throughout our whole culture and community in the United States, we need to take a look at the litigious nature of making it somebody else's fault. You know what I mean?
I guess I never really thought of it that way. If you sign up to participate in something like that, It's on you. I mean, as long as me, the event holder, does their due diligence to provide you with a safe space. If you get hurt because you're an idiot.
How many times have you heard that, though? How many times have you heard people say, well, we had, we had a release form, we had release of liability waivers that people had to sign, but that doesn't matter. It's like, how can that not matter?
Right.
Yeah, right.
So anyway.
You're signing it, letting you know that you're taking your own risk.
Good for the AMA, and this is the thing, like, if you can believe me saying this, that I'm saying good for the AMA to begin with, but also that be involved. Whether AMA, the MIC, your local ABATE, be involved, get involved, be part of this stuff, because the only way that they have any horsepower in the federal government at all is to be able to go there and say, this is how many members we have behind us that are voting members. So that's my little...
I think we got one more piece of news, right?
I'm
personally excited about this one.
We have a super excited piece of news. Here, this is not a big dramatic drum roll.
How do you not have a drum roll? You have crickets, you have wolves, you have train, no drum roll.
I have this.
Oh,
there you go.
So anticlimactic.
So this comes in from our own Cycle Source news blog that the Smokeout Rally 2025 headliner has been announced, and it is Saving Abel. Yeah, baby. Nice. So adding to the list of formidable headliners over the years now, THC, the Texas Hippie Coalition, was off the hook last year. Drowning Pool the year before. Yeah. Saving Abel has taken the stage this year. And if you guys are unaware what Saving Abel has been up to lately, they have just dropped some new music.
Yep.
It's titled Dodge a Bullet.
It's good. I dig it.
It is.
I'm so excited. One thing I want to address real quick, if you don't.
Well, let me I'll put this on in the background a little bit.
Sorry, YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube's going to be all up our ass now, but too bad.
But people ask me all the time, how come we only have one big headliner at Smokeout? Technically, we have one big headliner band, but our drag racing on Friday night is a headliner. Because the first year we had drag racing and we had a band play at the same time, there was not a soul watching the band. So our drag racing Friday night is our headliner. So
now, can we talk about that a little bit? Just, we're done with the news and we're going to get on to some other stuff here. But just to let you know, thanks to Gilliland Custom Motorcycles.
Oh, we are so stepping up drag racing
this year, baby. If you've been waiting to get out on the track with us and do some dirt drags at Smokeout, this is the year to do it, because this year we're going to be adding to those dirt drags. Now we already have the professional Christmas tree. This year we're running full traps and full time slips at the end. So when you get done with your run, you will get a time slip that says that you completed whatever the distance of the pass at Smokeout Drag Strip.
People are going to just think that they're going to want to run all night. They're just going to want to go and make a pass just to get that slip.
Mark's going to run down the track, and we're going to give him a slip.
I am doing
Can I take my golf cart down the track?
No.
There's an ambulance there, right?
Oh,
yes.
I'm doing it then.
Hey, remember the first year when we were like literally getting ready to put the first two guys on the track, and we went, aren't we supposed to have an ambulance here?
No, the best part was when I come down and I'm like, how about shoes? Shoes would be good. Maybe a helmet.
Yeah, we've put a couple rules in place since then, but
we're so used to doing shit by the seat of our pants. We're lucky we even think of stuff like that.
Spike Doberman, that's awesome. Can I run my garage build bike?
Well, no.
Well,
we're going to listen.
In the rules, it says they can't take them out of the display.
But I think he should get extra points.
No.
He should get extra points if he runs that on the dirt drag.
No, rules are rules.
We're going to have a meeting about
no,
this.
we're not.
Spike, hold tight. There's a sidebar foreman as we speak.
No.
Or there's a back door.
No, because here's the deal. Judging is over a 2-day period. If a judge goes to judge your motorcycle and it's not there, you lose those points.
Watching the drags.
Right?
No.
He can judge on the drag strip.
Mark, you shut your dirty mouth. The rules are the rules.
Robin Higginbottom says, run, Mark, run. Run, Mark, run.
Yeah, right. If we're born to break the rules.
So we have an incredible guest to get to. Actually, 3 incredible
Three.
guests all in the same effort. If you watched the, shut up, Chris. Your mother's so great to me. If you've been watching the social media, you know what we're getting ready to talk about. We're getting ready to talk about Go Fast Guys and Bagger Racing. But we are going to take a quick 2 minutes. We're going to check out an event that we were at over the break, which was Born Free. And it was Heather's first Born Free.
It was, but wait a minute, I have an idea.
What?
So judging is over, an announcement is made for the garage build-off guys. We will open up the track special for them if they want to once we announce the winner.
We could have extra points, extra credit for
No,
garage
there's
build
no
guys.
extra points.
No,
It's
I mean,
after the awards are over.
Even if you didn't win the garage build off, you could beat the shit out of the guy that did because his
There
bike
you go.
sucks.
That's the true
Man,
match.
let's go look at the event. We'll be back right after this, and we're going to the guest for the show. But don't go anywhere. You're going to dig this coverage of Born Free.
On Location is brought to you by Clockworks. Clockworks, it's your ride, you decide.
Okay, just like that, poof,
We're in California.
we're on the other coast. And it's Coach Corner,
Yep.
the night before Born Free.
Yeah, the night People's Champ 2025 is going to be crowned. Heather from Cycle Source Magazine and Cycle Source TV coming to you from Born Free. Born Free, baby. We're here. We've made it. My first time. I am a Born Free virgin. And I can't wait to show you Born Free. Okay, I survived my first Born Free. Oh my God. It was awesome. Like, I don't want to go on and on and on, but Born Free, my first experience, I popped my cherry. My Born Free cherry, I popped it. I did. And I loved it. I will absolutely 100% be back. Next year, hopefully, we'll be back with the presence in full force. I saw so much cool stuff here that I never thought I'd see. Like, there was a little bit of everything. They gave away a motorcycle today. I didn't win.
2 more tomorrow.
Oh, 2 more tomorrow. I'm not going to win those either. But if you haven't got your tickets to Born Free and you are available tomorrow, I suggest you come. If not, put it on your calendar for 2026 because I'm sure as hell not going to miss it. Oh, I'm Heather. And you're watching Cycle Source TV.
Oh, nice. Paul Yaffe product, huh?
Yeah, man, so excited.
Got a new build?
I do. It's. Aren't you Paul Yaffe?
No, I've never met the guy. But I do know you can get all of his products at DennisKirk.com.
There you go.
Is this me? Awesome. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Have a good one.
Listen to Not Paul Yaffe. Get all your Bagger Nation products right now at DennisKirk.com.
Hey, it's Billy from Twisted Team. We're live in Sturgis, and you're watching Shop Talk.
Everything we do at the track shapes what we build for the street and the dirt.
You can see how bad these guys want it. The race to the line.
For us, racing is not for the trophies or the glory. We compete because it makes everything we do faster, more durable, and tested to a higher standard. For S&S, racing is the ultimate in proven performance, and we've been proving it since 1958.
Okay, welcome back to the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. That's right, up there. The Dennis Kirk Studio is how we are able to bring you this show every week. We appreciate them, and every time I see that commercial, man, it makes me piss my pants laughing.
I love Paul.
Oh, he's such a good sport that he played along with it, right? So, that Born Free video, as long as it was, Heather's yelling at me because it was too long for this show.
Because I get so excited when we have such cool guests. I'm like, as I get older, my ADHD gets worse, and I'm just waiting to get to the guests. I'm so excited.
So that video is part of a 40-minute coverage of the actual event of Born
And it's
Free,
almost
where we
all motorcycles, no talking. So just the good stuff.
It's a blast, and we want to thank Grant and everybody from Born Free and the Clocks for dragging us along with them, and the great experience at Cook's Corner. One of the best hamburgers I ever had in my life, the whole deal. You should definitely do it. You should do it.
Hey, Tiger.
So, lots of talk in the sidebar while we're going on here, but the big talk tonight is going to be for our guest, longtime listener and supporter of everything that we do here, everything that we do at Smokeout. He's one of the best friends that we have in the show or in motorcycling, Mark Hendrix from Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, and we're going to be bringing him and the team that he sponsors for Bagger Racing in tonight to talk about their efforts. So let's get them on. Finally, huh? Jesus. That was a rough opening.
There's performance anxiety.
It happens.
It happens.
So
yes, it does.
I have a very important question first. Mark, are you going to run something and get a time slip?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I have to keep Ashley off that track. That's going to be my problem.
Good luck.
Well,
yeah,
there should be a time slip with your name on it.
Everybody should run that track.
So you have the fortunate happenstance to work in a place where racing's almost got to be oozing out of the walls at your place, right?
Yep, there's definitely a long heritage of that with the Ray Price Top Fuel drag racing team that was
fielding bikes as long as I've been at the dealership, and it is what our service department stands behind. And for years it was a huge part of the store. And when Ray passed, that kind of went dormant for a little while. But when the dealership sold, the new owner made a real point not to take the man out of the building. So there's a Ray Price Museum upstairs.
That's
the
so
drag
cool.
bikes have been there ever since the ownership changed. And currently we're working on getting those into their final resting places, which is going to be some of the museums like the Harley Museum. So there's a little bit of a shift happening there where those bikes are going to transition out as a display, which is why the timing for the Bagger Racing stuff was so odd. It was almost like destiny,
Man, and it's important to stop for a second and acknowledge what you just said there, because we went through a period, and Mark knows, me and Mark are great friends. I'm lucky to have him as a friend. I bleed black and orange. I am all about Harley-Davidson. I've never been a flip your patch guy, but I'm also critical because I believe I'm passionate, and for whatever reason, I think that gives me a voice, which I'm full of shit for saying. But I tell him about it all the time, right? But in a time where, like, we went through a period when Mark and I were both, young enthusiasts in this, where big companies were buying up these old dirt floor family Harley-Davidson businesses, and a lot of the heritage got swept up in that, and they got rid of it because they wanted to go for the, the clean, strong corporate look, and the sales overrode the need for that heritage. And it's so good to hear you talk about the fact that your new owner demanded that the man stay in the building.
Yeah, well, I mean, he tried to buy the name too, and Gene Price just didn't put it for sale, and so that's why the name got changed to Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson. But it was important to all of us to keep that going. It was such an integral part of why people came to Ray Price Harley-Davidson to buy bikes. And I'm grateful for the opportunity we got now with Mad Monkey to kind of revive some of that heritage and to bring all that lifestyle element, back into the walls in a different manner, and a more modern manner, and probably arguably a little more relevant today because of the Bagger Racing, because that just didn't exist back then. So. Yeah.
So talk about that for a little bit. Talk about how you guys got involved with this, because it's not like you just jumped on the bandwagon. When everybody said, "Hey, we're all going to do Bagger Racing," this is
right.
This is something that's come on. So tell me how that happened.
Yeah. So Brennan is from North Carolina, and we have a mutual friend that went to high school with him, and when he was. From my point of view, when he was fielding the bike and he had switched over from Indian, he was kind of poking around looking for some sponsors for some help. And Rodney is our mutual friend from Twin City Cycle Works. He reached out to me and said, "Hey, I don't know what this could be, but there's something here. You talk about the Ray Price stuff all the time and the racing and all that. And he's trying to connect with somebody who's passionate about it. And you guys just need to talk." Well, when you meet Brennan, you're going to realize how awesome of a guy he is. And he's just we just formed a relationship pretty quickly. And I wanted to try to get involved because I saw an opportunity to kind of revive the whole racing element, which is growing like crazy. I had no idea until I went to the first King of the Baggers race at the AMA stuff in Atlanta. I couldn't believe the amount of Harleys that were at the racetrack.
Yeah.
And I had been to AMA races before, and it was not like that. And they were all there to see the Bagger Racing. And at first I thought, well, there's just no way. I mean, this is not BRL. This is King of the Baggers. I mean, the Harley-Davidson King of the Baggers racing budget is $30 million.
Yeah.
And, you're just not going to there's no way this little dealership that wants to do this is going to be able to do what is required to make this work. And so when Brent and I talked, he made it make sense. And, there's so much more to support the team than just the raw dollars. and some of the stuff that we're doing, we're thinking outside the box to get it to work, and I felt like we could make it make sense for both of us. He could get some support on the racing, and I could get something that makes the dealership special. What you were talking about with the corporate stores getting taken over. I mean, you walk into a Harley store now, I hear it all the time from customers riding through. They're starting to look the same. I used to buy poker chips. I used to buy T-shirts. Like, all that stuff is stopping from a ground level. And it's because the dealerships aren't different. Customers used to go looking for the stores to try to see what makes that store special, whether it's the owner's collection of bikes or whatever they were into in that particular area of the country. And I felt like this was an opportunity to bring something back that is growing in popularity, and it's been actually a pretty amazing journey so far. It's been well worth the effort for sure. So
that's awesome. Now there aren't a whole lot of dealerships that sponsor a team, correct?
We're the only one in King of the Baggers.
Wow.
There are dealerships racing in the Bagger Racing League, but King of the Baggers is factory race teams. 90% of them are factory race teams. I mean, the first time I went down there, it was intimidating because you have these double stacker semi buses like a NASCAR. The paddock looked like a NASCAR paddock. And in Daytona, they were renting out the NASCAR garages and stuff, and it was like, I mean, to walk around with our Tobacco Road shirts on down there was just crazy to me. And right at the end is the little trailer, the people's team, like, the fan favorite rider, the working man's team of people that are out there scrapping with these factory teams. And I fell in love with the whole thing,
Nope.
I think that's awesome. Like, and I don't know about you, but I always root for the underdog. I always do. You have to.
Well, and you know what, man? Like, this is the thing that makes this all run, right? Because I am one of those guys, and I've said this on this show before. We've had Rob Bitos from BRL on here, and we've talked about this stuff. But I was one of those guys that used to go to the AMA Superbike races, and even though sad-ass Harley-Davidson with their VR 1000 was always breaking down and, never really did super, super good with it. Like, there was a few sparks where Miguel Duhamel did something special or some shit, but just having them there, like having them in the manufacturer's row of trucks was important to me because it was my brand, right?
Yeah.
And when they stopped going, it broke my heart. I wouldn't have cared if they ever fielded a bike as long as that truck was there and they were trying to do something in the paddock. So to see guys like you putting teams together and doing this in the budget, man, I cannot even imagine, because when you see a company and not to throw them under the bus, but like Nick Trask, when it's a hard proposition for a company like Trask to race with the big boys in something like the Mission Foods King of the Baggers, then that's a serious budget. You know what I mean? So I give you mad props for this dude for even going after this.
Yeah, keeping hope for the little guy.
Oh, sorry, Mark.
Brandon is the magic in all this. I mean, he lives and breathes this stuff, and it's inspirational, to be honest. I've been doing this a long time, and I'm a retail guy. I've been in the retail industry for my whole life, and I've been selling motorcycles for a long time. And I'm 51 years old, and I love motorcycles, but we go through these ebbs and flows, right? We're interested in a different part of the lifestyle sometimes. And, I was kind of going through some stuff, and to meet him and to meet Max and everybody involved was just really inspiring. And, it's a reminder why we're even doing this, because, we were young once and didn't even think about it and just running around on bikes. And now we're older and we're trying to figure out how to keep certain things from dying. And, one of my favorite stories so far from the race team is I noticed that when the Harley factory guys, who get everything that they need over the top, right? When they would come off the track, they would. I think we were in Atlanta, and they were getting into ice baths in their paddock, like the cold plunge.
Yeah.
Because it was so hot. Max comes off the track. Now he raced superbikes. I think he had 8 minutes to go from the superbike onto the King of the Baggers bike and go back out on the track. When he gets out when he finishes, I'm thinking to myself, are we going to need to find him a sponsor to get an ice bath or something? And he was like, I got to go meet a 5th grade class to talk about why they should be into motorcycles. And I was like, oh my God, like this is so amazing, because that's how we keep the industry going and growing, you know? So,
well, Mark, you even, in your time and the stuff that you did with the drag racing, like there was a few many years where even drag racing disappeared from this stuff, man. And really,
oh yeah,
a lot of the soul goes along with that.
It does.
Yeah, and again, like I was saying, it's so nice, Mark's keeping hope alive for the little guy and showing that the little guy is as much of a competitor. All the money in the world can't, just buy competition. That rider that you have is out there killing it and definitely making people nervous, which is exactly what you wanted to do. Put your name out there, let you know that you don't need money, you don't need big backing to come out here and kick some ass, and he's obviously doing that. So super cool that you're keeping.
When you bring them on, you're going to realize how passionate they both are, which is exciting.
Yeah, right.
Well, let's do that without any further review. Ado.
Ado.
I'm having a hell of a night. I really am. Show's kicking my ass tonight.
Problems.
All right, gentlemen, do me a favor and introduce yourself for everybody, and we'll get going here.
Going first.
Do we got him?
Brandon, you with us?
First.
I'll go first. I'm Max Flinders. I'm the rider for M3 Motorsports, sponsored by Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson.
Right on.
And I'm Brandon White. I own the team and partnered up with Mark here, and you got that young man over there, Max, riding the bike for us.
Okay, Brandon, I wanna start by asking you a couple questions. What is your pedigree for racing? Like, how do you end up owning a team like this?
Pure accident. I to tell you the truth, I actually started racing years ago for one of the local dealers, Mark Willingham. Mark's kind of competition up here close by. But accidentally, I had raced HDRA for many, many years, sold my bike in 2020 when I won a national championship, and was on the phone with Chance Darling at Barnett. And I said, hey, what's the deal with this King of the Bagger thing? And Chance and I talked a little bit. We're good friends. And he goes, well, here's what's going on, but I'm not going to run anymore. Okay. Was the bike for sale? And he jokingly said, be very careful. And I joked with him back. And long story short, 2 weeks later, the bike was shipped from California to me. And we started this 5 years ago with that first 3 race series. And I actually used Chance Darling's bike, the original Barnett bike that was raced in the exhibition show.
Wow.
And after the first race, I realized that we had brought a butter knife to a gunfight. So, that was a very humbling experience, to say the least.
Oh,
yeah, sure.
Right on.
Oh my goodness.
So how about you, Max? Tell us how you get into this. What's your history in racing?
Yeah, I mean, I started racing when I was 6 in England. I won a couple of championships there, and then came over here, started racing road racing when I was 12. Won a couple more championships, went pro when I was 16, and then ran out of money. And then I got picked up by another team with our main sponsor. His name's Tim, who runs a superbike racing, and running with him for a while and having a good time, just trying to get top 10s, do the best we can. And then all of a sudden this bagger racing stuff came around, and I was like, we were watching it, me and my dad, and we we're like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, these guys are getting pretty quick. And my dad's like, hey, this is going to be pretty big. If you get any opportunity to ride one of those bikes, snatch it. And lo and behold, I was sat there over Christmas time, and I get a call from this guy named Randy, who I had no idea who he was, but he asked me to sponsor to come ride the bike. And turns out Randy was actually Brandon. I just didn't hear his name, and I called him Randy for like a month before I actually met him. So, but yeah, they said, do you want to come do this thing? And I was like, dude, that'd be awesome. It'd be a great opportunity. So I asked my other team sponsor, I was like, hey, is this okay? Can I do double duty? And he's like, yeah, man, go for it. So we started, we met up in Daytona. We had a heck of a first time meeting, and yeah, we've come real far and we've done some awesome things. So,
Dude, I'm sorry. I don't think I heard you right when you said, what were you doing at the age of 12?
Road racing.
I was road racing.
You weren't old enough to ride legally, but you were racing. That's insane.
Yeah, actually, we moved to America, my dad's job mainly, but in England you can't start road racing until you're 15. Here you can do it at 12. So my dad's like, oh, well, you want a road race, so let's go there.
Perfect.
And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
So they put me on a 250 Milwaukee, and next minute I was beating guys on 600s, and they're like, oh, this guy, we should go racing this. So we went racing.
Mark, what were you doing at 12?
Well, I wasn't road racing. I was driving a dump truck at work, though. So, is that close? Does that count at all?
So one of the things that we want to talk about here tonight, Max, is that your teammates have all given you the nickname Gumby. And I want to know what that's about, because there's actually talk in pre-show that we were going to get some kind of special jersey made for you with a big G on the front, because you're reaching legendary status with this.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've been racing since I was little, so I've crashed a lot of motorcycles, and I don't want to say I got good at it, but I guess I did. So every time I end up messing this bike up, 2 years ago at Laguna, the Indian we rode, there wasn't a piece on it that was like okay, and I came in with a little limp, and that was it. And the guys are like, what the heck? And then at Road America recently, we crashed it off, like I think it was like 120 or something, and once again, the Tobacco Road Harley, it took a beating, and it was pretty bad, and I was completely fine. And it's actually, sometimes I don't wish I get hurt, but like it'd be nice if I had like a little cut or something, just like, oh guys, I got hurt too. That's the bike, but I guess I'm lucky. I do bounce pretty well, but then again, when I do get hurt, I normally do really well on the bike as well. So I don't know. Either way, I guess I'm lucky.
Okay. So, well, while you're saying that, we have a comment that comes in from Shiny Side Paint that says, "Let's not talk about messing up the bike."
Yeah, she had just painted it.
I like the way he nervously laughs as he tells that story.
Right?
Oh, man. Well, so we have a clip of the wreck you're talking about, and the fact that you walked away unscathed is amazing. But am I wrong in the fact that you guys put the bike back together and you raced it again? Is that what I heard?
That bike was on the paddock the next morning.
Wow. Can you?
Yeah, you're a bad bunch of dudes. Let's watch this video.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, that thing is going for a wild ride. We had to put it a second time just in slow motion so that we could slow it down enough to see how that thing is tumbling. Oh.
That's Gumby is completely appropriate.
Crew is what that is. If they got that on the paddock the next morning, that's nuts.
Dude, like I said, the fact that he walked away from that was ridiculous. I can't even.
Let me tell you what he did. That's even more amazing. Is there was a bunch of kids standing on the other side of the fence, and any of those parts that were absolutely demolished, they weren't savable. He was reaching them through the fence for the kids to have. And the next day, they're coming to the race paddock to get signatures on them.
That's
it was just awesome.
Oh, nice.
Okay, Max, you're a rock star.
You are. Max is a badass. But let's take a look at this bike, because what an absolute beautiful job too, and standing there with the artist who painted it in its pristine condition.
Yep.
Yeah.
For a minute anyway.
And then not so much later on, but. Dude, look at that thing on the track. That's fantastic.
It looks cool.
So, Brandon, I want to know, like, when that happened, and once you knew Max was okay, what went through your head at that moment?
I'll be honest with you, it's happened enough times now that I don't get really excited anymore. We'll go back to Daytona. When Max first started riding from where he had never seen the bagger, never sat on the bagger, didn't even know what the bagger was. He showed up at Daytona, met us. We took about a 20-minute time of fitting him up, making him feel comfortable on the bike. And a funny story that came out of that, when Max first got on the bike as this professional rider, and God, you're making me sick posting those pictures. He got on the bike and actually kicked the bike into gear, about knocked it over in front of everybody. And this is the professional rider that I hired that can't even get out of the paddock without knocking the bike in gear. And lo and behold, I think the second lap, he come around a little over 176 or so.
Wow.
And third lap, he was in ambulance.
Oh, jeez.
So that was our first meeting, and I had just met his family, obviously. And he was over in the medic tent, and I'm worried about him. You know, have I hurt this kid? I just got him riding for me. My first concern is if I hurt somebody. As a lifelong racer myself, I know what that's like. I didn't want that on my conscience.
Yeah.
And his dad's exact words were, "He's a tough little shit. He'll be fine." And wanted to know if I could fix the motorcycle while Max is still in with the medic, and we've not even seen him yet. So then we fast forward to New Jersey when Max gets his first podium hit. The race before that, he had crashed his super bike and broke his foot. So he was in a medic between that, getting his shots in his foot. So then we'll go to the next one. What was that, Max? Atlanta?
Yeah.
When you crashed the race before that, cracked your hip socket, put the bike on the podium again. So normally our conversation is pretty easy. Max comes over with his head down, and I'll say this, that this is a pretty humble guy. I've seen tears in his eyes because he broke a bike in half in Coda last year. He literally snapped my bike in two pieces. And you can ask him, my first comment to Max, "Are you okay?" And I'll look at him every time and say, "I don't care about the motorcycle. We can fix the bike. As long as you're okay, I don't care about another thing that happens." I'm old enough now, Max could actually be my kid. And we worry when we hear that 88's down. The scariest thing to me was at Daytona, 88's down. We have debris from turn 1 to turn 6.
Holy shit.
And red flag race. So at that point, you start worrying. When he broke the bike in half in Coda, one of the Moto America girls was standing there, and she pulled her headset off. She said, "He is not answering." And from a owner, sponsor, throw that out the window. Max is my friend also. It'll scare you. I mean, it'll truly scare you. This is not a sport for the weak. Yeah. Yeah. We'll post her. You might go back to that picture. Go back down to that one and read what the caption is he put on it. Can we see his caption?
When the boss says no wheelies and someone posts this of you later that day. Oops.
Riding wheelies because he's been in my front wheels, and he said, "Okay, no more wheelies." And somebody actually come by when he's getting ready to get on the bike and said, "That was a bike that was riding wheelies." And I told him, I said, "We'll talk later." So it is kind of like having a kid too, but yeah, he's scared us a couple of times, but as a whole, he's been really lucky, and I'm happy for that. He does give it his all, and I can say this: not one time has he not wrecked that he was not gaining positions. And it's hard as an owner to yell at a rider for pushing the equipment past the ability of the bike that I gave him. So when it happens, we regroup and figure out what happened and how to stop it next time. This has been a learning year on the Harley. I mean, this is our first year on the Harley back. We've been on the Indian for 3 years. We struggled at Daytona. We barely made the cut. Atlanta, a lot better. And then the last race, he actually got around some people and then crashed. So in a 3-race, 3 outing, we don't have the budget to practice. We don't test. We don't have any extra equipment like that. We have just enough to run on. The fact that he can go from bike to bike that quick is just insane.
Brandon, this video that we're watching right now, I see what you mean about he's bending your front wheels.
Well, that's
yeah. I mean, this is what he does. I mean,
that's how fast he's going. Look right here.
The one picture that Mark wants. Mark wants one of those pictures from the other direction because he has a logo on the belly pad.
Oh, my goodness.
I did tell Max, you can ask Max, I did tell Max at Wisconsin before he decided to wreck it. I said, all the wheelies you want on the cool-down lap, we need to get a picture from Mark. So we didn't make it that far, but we tried.
I think that.
And the one thing he has done, we have yet to crash on TV ever in 3 years.
Don't say that.
Nobody gets it on camera,
say
so we don't
that.
have any cool videos.
What doesn't count unless it's on camera. So
Max, I think the only thing you have to worry about is when.
I think one of the coolest things is that as the owner, is, obviously the majority of the budget guy there. You're letting him have that freedom. Oh, no more wheelies, but you just said about, you don't want to push it. Racing is pushing, and know that because you race. So that leniency has to give him a little bit of comfort too. But how awesome is it that you're so concerned about that rider? You said it, the bike can be fixed. Yep. And I raced for years. I know the exact feeling. Man, you can't replace one body part. We can fix anything. So super cool that you guys get along so well.
Unfortunately, the guy that Mark raced for was a son of a bitch.
I did tell Max that no wheelies till Sunday. That way we could fix it on the way home. So that picture was taken after the fact. I should back off in a little bit, but it was kind of iconic because I think that weekend was the weekend I had told him to stop doing it. So it was kind of fun.
Hey Mark, the really a good example of what happens there, I experienced firsthand, because when the paddy wagon brought the bike back from when he barrel rolled it, he was standing on the trailer, and he was like excited. He just barrel rolled this thing, and he's like excited because he crashed because it was running so well. And he was like, "You got to get the peg an inch higher. You got to get the peg in more. I could get lower. The bike was running so good." And it's like he was finding the limit of how the bike was set up, and you can only do that by pushing it. And
look, that's it right there, baby. That is it right there. That intense look, right in it. I think
Coda Max last year. What were you on the ground 4 times that weekend?
Yeah,
and that's between the 2 bikes. But yeah, that was. But he crashed the super bike and scratches the windshield. He crashes mine, and it comes back on a lull. I'm not really sure what's going on over there in other pits, but I need to talk to Tim, his other team owner, because it's a lot easier on his equipment.
So, Max, how does it feel? What's the most significant difference between the superbike and the bagger for you? Like, how do you have to readjust your train of thought? And
they're like not similar at all, really. I mean, they both have a throttle and 2 wheels, but the riding style is quite different. The superbike is you want to charge in, get the thing turned, and then charge out. And the bagger, it's strange to say, but you have to ride it more like a 600. Like, you have to really use the corner speed of the thing, and you're sat so high up. So it's like you go from being tucked in, diving in as hard as you can, getting your elbow out, trying to get this thing turned to diving out, to like being up with your arms out, and then you're just coming in, the bike's shaking, you're sliding the rear tire, the thing's a lot heavier, so you really have to muscle it in. But then it just kind of hugs the turn, and then you start rolling that gas out, and yeah, it's awesome. Honestly, I do find the bagger more fun because there's no electronics on it. It's not as clean. It's like you gotta ride hard and more like motocross, just kind of let the thing go loose and go wild. And I love it. But no, I mean, the braking markers are pretty much the same because you're going faster on the R1, but the bagger's so heavy you need the time to slow down. And other than that, dude, it's just a motorcycle. Just race it as hard as you can.
Okay, what's the fastest you've ever gone?
Hang on, I got one other question about that too. So I spent some time last year with Rispoli and the guys from Harley-Davidson at Las Vegas Speedway. We were test riding bikes and stuff, but there was a point after lunch where they went out on the track and showed us what a bunch of slow old assholes we were. But I have to say, like, watching them and being like track level and watching them, not just watching from the stands, in the turns, they never look like those motorcycles are actually tracking through the turns. They look like they were constantly sliding and negotiating between front and rear wheel, like they were constantly rolling across the pavement instead of engaged in a turn. Is that the weight of the bikes? Is it? I mean, what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the tires, they're made for like super bikes and everything and 600s and stuff, and then they put them on these baggers, and the baggers are so fast now that the tires are just slipping most of the time. Most of the time you're going into a corner, you're sliding the front, you're sliding the rear, and then you balance it. You're like, okay, if I slide the rear more now, the bike will turn and I'll get out of the corner. If I slide the front in, I might lose my line, but then I can grab grip and then turn back in. It's just, you're trying to make a tire that's made for race bikes hold a race bike that wasn't designed to be a race bike that's 650 pounds. It's you're asking a lot from it, and they do grip and they do an excellent job, but it is a lot of sliding, and it's like a balance almost. It's like,
and what's the way to the super bike in the 600?
Something to do with it?
The way to the super
the
bike
bags.
is about 320 pounds, I think,
wow.
something like that, maybe 350.
So
but
it's
like, yeah, it's
twice.
almost double for the bagger.
What about aerodynamics? Do you think that airflow definitely is showing you a lot different? Like you said, when you're coming into those bends, that
you're up
fairing's
so
so
high.
big. You have the bags to contend with. I mean, obviously, that's got to be, giving you you need a learning curve on that right there.
Yeah, you definitely look. It's actually nice when you're going down the straight because you have such a big shield to hide behind. Like normally on the R1, your head's kind of shaking from the air hitting you, but the big windshield's really nice. You're just like in a tent almost, like, yeah, here comes the corner. And then, but going into the corner, yeah, if it's windy outside, you definitely feel it. Like it almost grips the bag and pulls the bike a little bit, and then it can blow if the wind comes from behind you, it's almost like the front of the bike is a parachute. So it can definitely pull that way. But with the speeds and the weight of the bike, it doesn't affect you too much. Because like if the bike was, 200 pounds lighter, it might, but the wind's not really moving you too much.
Right.
This, you know what I have to say, man, this is really exciting because in all the times that we've talked to different guys who race BRL and stuff, and like, it's never been this kind of sense of like what it's like on it,
Yes. Yeah.
This
Super
is
cool.
This is badass.
Hey, Chris, I'm going to let you embarrass Max a little bit. Max, what did you describe to me that the bagger felt like when you ride it? And how do you keep it from coming out from under you? Do you remember what you described to me?
I don't recall that actually.
And his parents might be watching.
You need to get this one out of. Mark heard the story, but you need to get this one out of. Go ahead, Max. Tell him what it feels like.
You tell it way better because I don't remember what you're saying. So.
I asked him the same question that you guys did one day. So, what does it feel like when you're going in a corner and the bike's moving around underneath you and won't sit still? This young man's words to me, again, I could be his dad. Well, it's kind of like being with a big girl. You just back up and settle down, and when she stops moving, you come back to her. I just looked at her. I said, I have no more questions, and I walked off. I have nothing else to say.
Wait, Heather just fell off her chair.
Heather, I hate to embarrass you. I know we haven't got
No. It's just
the exact words where it's a big girl, and you just got to let her move around, and when she sits still, you go back up on her. And I was just.
Brandon, it's not that you embarrassed Heather. Just the rest of us have had the experience of a big girl like that, and I think it's the first time Heather's ever heard about that.
I didn't know it would go this way, but yeah. That was the description I got. He was a lot nicer.
So you like the big girls, do you, Max?
And what comes around, whatever.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
Dude, I want to hang out with you so bad.
Oh,
Max, how old are you?
Oh, he's a riot.
Max,
Hey,
how old are you?
I have so much fun at the paddock with them. Ashley and I sold our Metallica tickets to go to the race that we had.
Oh,
no
Charlotte.
shit.
And I am a huge Metallica fan, and I couldn't wait to go, and they were good seats. And I sold it so I could go watch them race, and I slept in the trailer.
Mark, I don't think
I wanted
blame
to go
you.
so bad and hang out with them so bad because they have so much fun.
Yep.
How do we get this kid to smoke out?
Right. No shit.
Right.
No shit.
No.
Wait a minute now. Hang on.
No.
Tobacco Road having a sponsored dirt drag racer. I think it's a good idea.
Mark,
I agree.
Put him on your Pan Am. We'll put a dirt tire on the back of it. What do you want?
Oh, good Lord.
Hey, done.
He can be the celebrity lights runner with me.
I was there last year. Let's do this. I'll go.
Hey, listen, that won't be the first time one of my bikes ends up on the dirt drags. I remember eBay took Ashley Sportster down there.
I know somebody that can paint it if he tears it up.
Dude,
so good.
And listen, that picture of eBay Jake riding her Sportster against
Superman,
against Joey Orsini, one of the greatest of all time pictures there will ever be at Smokeout in the history of Smokeout. Greatest, one of the greatest pictures ever.
So, a couple questions, Max. How old are you?
Awesome to have him there.
Max, how old are you?
Oh, I'm 28.
Okay, so your parents have been having heart attacks since you were 6, I'm sure.
His,
you owe your parents
his
an
dad
awful lot.
moved to another place so
I
he could
know.
start racing earlier.
How many times have you heard, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed?
My dad, not much. My dad just thinks I have no brain and I love motorcycles, so he's just always just like, yeah, you keep doing your thing. My mom, yeah, that's a different story. She's done some different things.
Oh man, yeah, no, I have to say, like, for me, I love going to any kind of racing, except NASCAR, oddly enough. But you have a fan for life.
Too.
Like the fact that you just go after it with everything that you have.
Oh yeah.
And you just keep coming back for more. Absolute fan for life. So good on you. If you come to Smoke Out, you are going to sign every freaking waiver on the face of the planet.
He has to come. Mark, they have to come to Smoke Out. They have to. It's going to be so much fun.
Just tell me where, I'll be there.
Max, it's 35 minutes from my house.
I'll crash at yours. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, you don't have any excuses.
All right, bet.
Flaked paint and design, I don't know if it's his balls or his brain. It's one or the other, maybe both. I'm
one's
not
big
sure.
and one's little. I'll let you decide.
So what's next for you guys?
Anybody?
They're on their way to Laguna Seca. I think Brandon's in a hotel room somewhere in the middle of the country.
Yeah, I'm in Arkansas, about 2 hours from the Oklahoma city. And Max, so here's another. This is true privateer racing. As Mark told you guys, they all have 18-wheelers, drivers, all these different things. When we go to California, from a budget side, we actually have to rent a Sprinter van, cram everything in it, and try to get there. And we don't get to take my big rig because of the expense. It's just out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
Max is already up there at the Ridge, but this happened 2 years ago, Max?
Mm-hmm.
Last year, when he broke down.
Last year and this year now.
Last year he broke down, had to rent a truck, do an off move, and he actually had my bike with him. And as I just talked to him a couple days ago, his truck is broke down, 14 hours from the racetrack right now?
Oh.
Yeah, it's
you gotta be there Thursday morning at 9.
Oh.
Yeah, it's in Tacoma right now, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll fix it by Thursday," and then it didn't come around. Then it was 4th of July, and then the weekend, and it's still not ready. So I'm in California right now, hanging out with some friends. I rented a car because I wasn't going to sit in Tacoma, Washington. It's not the best place in the world. But yeah, and then I have to drive 12 hours back up to get the truck to then drive 14 hours back down in the truck for Laguna Seca and get ready. So
damn,
it's a bit tough. And also I hit a turkey vulture yesterday with my rental car and smashed the mirror off there. I got to do that as well.
Oh my God, you can't let this kid drive anything anymore. Holy shit.
It's a train wreck.
And then I got a ticket 2 hours later because I was going down the hill. They gave me an Audi A6, and like it's a fast car, so I was having fun. And then I got a ticket for speeding. So yeah, it's been a trip. Yeah, it's been a trip.
But you know that just
this
goes
is
to
almost
prove.
like having a conversation with everybody I've ever raced with, raced with.
Yep.
Whatever. I mean, it's always nonchalant. Through the conversation, they tell you 20 incidents between point A and point B, very nonchalantly. Like it was always somebody else's fault.
Anytime it was a rental car, forget it. Forget it.
Course.
The shit we've all done to rental cars.
Yeah, they're the fastest cars on the planet because you just don't care. You just floor the thing. And it's like this one said it would do 160 and it doesn't. So I'm a little upset.
So I know why they hired this kid to pilot their motorcycle. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Fantastic.
Mark, I understand why you have so much fun with this team.
Oh my God.
I would love to be able to come along for a weekend. Just to experience it from that
we got to do it. We got to do it.
So sign us up.
All right.
Whenever we can, we'd love to come and document it. And it's just
did
too
you
cool.
notice he loves motorcycles so much when he said floor the car, he went like this?
We got a twisty tattoo on his hand.
Yeah, right.
So, Mark, as a relatively new sponsor to this team, how did you feel when you saw Max roll that bike?
Well, I had forgotten how expensive racing can get. And of course my first worry was, oh my God, Ashley's gonna have a heart attack and she's gonna be really, really upset. Because no matter how much we told her, it's a race bike, it shouldn't be perfect. And she was adamant that she's an artist and she can't let it go without doing the paint job the right way. And we warned her. But she was okay. She handled it great. Well, as good as she could. And then I think Brandon, when we got back to the tech shed, you looked at me and said, "We're gonna need to get out your Amex."
I said, I asked Mark, I said, "Do you have your Amex card with you?"
But let me tell you, let me tell you, Heather, what happened. And this is the reason why I love going to the track the most, because this is how I remember motorcycling being as a culture. Before everybody got back to the pit, the other teams were already trying to figure out how to help. And I mean, Terry Vance came over on his scooter, like parts started showing up. I don't even know how they got the bike back together overnight, because it looked
horrendous.
It looked ringed out. I mean, look at that thing right there. That's how it came off the track. And next thing I know, they're going back to assembling it. And it was important to the rest of the paddock that those guys were out there on the grid.
Yep.
Yeah. And I love that, because that's how Ray Price used to race. I've watched Ray Price send his team over to fix another person's drag bike because he didn't want to win on a buy.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And I love that. So I was more worried about Max, just like Brandon was. That's really our main concern, because everything else was replaceable,
superficial. Yeah.
And once we realized that he was going to be all right, then it was. Brandon was like, we got to get to work. Let's go. You're gonna earn your beer and pizza today, because that's how we pay. Right. We pay in beer and pizza.
Now this is a totally selfish question that I have for Max, because I've gotten to ride some amazing facilities, not ever in a race capacity. Well, sometimes in race capacity. Never. I'm the guy that they put on the track to make sure you guys have something to go around. That's what I'll say. But I want to know what it's like to take the corkscrew at Laguna Seca at speed, man. I want you to tell me about that.
Laguna Seca is it's so amazing. The whole track is just awesome. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's one of those feelings that your stomach drops and you get this buzz of excitement, and then you gain so much speed because you're coming up the hill and it's all torque. You've got power. You're waiting for your brake mark. As soon as you see that brake mark, you're on the brakes as hard as you can. You're squirreling the bike around, the rear sliding, kicking, and everything. And then you tip it into this corner, and it just becomes a field because you can't see where to go. There's no marker. There's no nothing. You just know the track drops, and there's dirt, and there's the apex. So after you've done it a certain amount of times, you kind of know where it is, and you just go. You pick that thing up, you pin it, hope to goodness that you're aiming at that apex, and then you drop down, and then you just gain probably, it has to be like 60, 70 miles an hour from top to bottom. It's insane. And then you just go into this long left-hander. You're getting your knee down. Now you're doing like 120, 130. You feel like you're flying down a hill like an eagle, almost like just carving in on its prey or something. And then you just hope it sticks to this next corner. You pick it up, and then you're like, that was amazing. Let's do it again the next lap. Like it's such an amazing feeling. Like it's so much fun. Like I don't know. It's better than any roller coaster you've ever been on in your life, for sure.
The reason I asked you that, man, is we got the opportunity to one of the years, I think when Buell first came out with the XBs or one of their bikes, they had everybody out to Laguna Seca, and we got to ride on the track. And I knew we were, we were definitely not doing any kind of speeds like that. But man, just the feeling, even riding that at a regular pace, you can feel that thing that you're talking about, man. Where there's a second in between switching from the left to the right that everything's suspended, and you're changing so much in altitude. You know, it's an incredible facility, just absolutely incredible. Right on.
Yeah, I can't wait to go back again. I mean, I did mess up 2 bikes of Brandon's there. Well, no, 1 bike twice of his there. So hopefully we don't do that again. But yeah, I'm excited to get back there.
Oh my gosh.
I will say this, Chris. After the last incident, I have acquired a new skill. Ashley and I figured out how to fix carbon fiber.
Yeah.
And I think I can get good enough at it to add this to my toolbox.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, nice.
Hey, don't worry. He'll let you practice some more. That's how we got so good at
We have more chances.
Yeah, well, Ash is on here saying that, you know, she was indeed warned, cracked a beer, and just shook her head. Job security. # job security.
Yeah.
Do we have time after Sturgis to go to Mid-Ohio to see him race?
Oh, dude, Mid-Ohio.
It's between Sturgis and Smokeout.
a fun
Probably
track.
not.
Yeah, so if you guys are coming to Fall Foliage, I'm going to leave Fall Foliage early and take a group down to New Jersey on Sunday.
Nice.
So that might be a good opportunity too if you guys are coming out there.
Yeah, let's talk about that for sure.
Mid-Ohio's not real far from me.
Dude, and Mid-Ohio is one of my. I know like some racers bitch about it because at times that track gets rough, but it's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite tracks.
Right, so Max,
I just like it. It's an old timey kind of track, and
Max Gordon wants to know if you've ever thought about doing Isle of Man.
I have seen it, and I have friends that do it, but I'm crazy, but I don't know if I'm that crazy.
Yeah, I think you're going to be a special kind of crazy for that. I really do.
You have to grow up on the island, and like you have to know that road so well. And like I'm good at memorizing tracks, but I forget how long that track is. But you got to do it so many times. And then this year I saw a guy flip over a fence and land on someone's car, and I'm like, you know what? You know, I don't get hurt when I crash because I do it on racetracks with no cars or like, you know, fences or, you know, things. So I don't want to keep that Gumby name, you know, by not getting hurt. And I don't know if the Isle of Man's the place to do that. So I don't think so.
Dude, I couldn't do it. I get hurt. I get hurt because I forget where I'm at on an oval track sometimes. Like in Sons of Speed, I'll literally forget what turn I'm in, and like I can't. You watch those guys on Isle of Man. It's like you said. How can you? It's complete reckless abandon. Those guys are absolutely out of their minds. There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, and they're traveling at what they average like 130 miles an hour or something. It's like
way
at 130 miles an hour. If you can get where you are on the track, bye. Like that's it. It's there's nothing left. That's it. You're gone. Like you're through a hedge, through a field, into someone's house, you're drinking tea in their living room. Like it's insane.
Okay, I have one more question. What's the fastest you've ever gone on a motorcycle?
I want to breach 200. I haven't yet. I rode the R1 at Daytona and we hit 196. And I was mad because if I had a draft, I would have hit 200, but then my tire kind of exploded, so I had to pull off very quickly. So I didn't get to hit the speed I wanted to, but 196 is my fastest so far.
Have you heard about a little track they have in Bonneville?
Yeah.
This could be another opportunity for Tobacco Road Harley.
Can we put him on War
I'm
Pony?
just saying.
Hey, wait a minute.
Mark will say, well, can we break a record with a bagger? Do you see what this is doing?
Hey, wait a minute.
Hey,
is
in
War
Bonneville,
Pony technically a bagger?
wait, no. But in Bonneville, there is literally world's fastest bagger.
Oh, yeah, and T-Man's right up the road, so he'll jump right in. You see where this is going? And you know who's going to buy it? Mark, that Amex card needs to be paid up. 'Cause this one's going to get bad.
Mark's not scared. He's a man, goddammit. Look at him.
I'll jump in here and say this. Mark and I had talked a couple of times before through Rodney at Twin City. And obviously, T-Man's wrong. We were on the Indian. And when I reached out to Mark, literally within a couple of days, he answered back. And Mark has been unbelievable. Harley wanted a dealer to get involved, and Mark has gone farther and beyond without him and Paul Lindell at Lindell Brakes, we would have struggled tremendously. We still struggle, but in a way that it would have been bad. If we hadn't made the swap to Harley, we'd been done this year. We were getting no financial help from the other manufacturers, which is fine. It is what it is. But the Harley community, and I raced Harleys for 23 years. So coming back to the home has been unbelievable. The family, the community, shows like this right here, that's what's keeping that young man on that motorcycle. Because if I would lose Max, I would possibly hang it all up and sell it. He's just that easy to deal with.
Right.
I don't think we've had one crossword. I've only heard him cuss once or twice. And once, I don't even remember cussing at the track. He stuck a hand in the fan at a house in Texas after he had ground his finger off, and I heard a cuss word out of the bedroom. But I heard 3 quick thumps and a very loud negative word, and I went to check on him. He was taking his shirt off and put his arm up into the fan. Didn't have any skin on that fan. that one was definitely asked for. But I can't thank Mark and Ashley and that whole dealership. They have been unbelievable. I raced, not with Ray, but we were at HDR at a lot of the same events. I crew chiefed in Nanny Train Pro Stock Suzuki for a little while. That rider left and went to work and rode for Ray. Yeah. So the relationship, we knew of each other. And when we put it together, Mark was just like, let's do this. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't ask for a better sponsor / friend and family they've become in this very short time. I mean, we're only going into the 4th round, and it feels like I've been hanging out with Mark for 20 years doing this again. And that's a good feeling to have with a marketing partner.
That's great.
Yeah.
Ray was a special man. Like I feel
yes,
like
he was.
I feel like guys like Ray, in our end of the world in custom motorcycle, and we talk about Arlen Ness being the gentleman of the whole industry, right? Like he was the example, and I feel like that's how Ray was. Like a lot of us know the stories, like you were talking about, Mark, about him going to make sure other racers were ready to go when it was time to go to the line. Like we spent our life growing up around these tracks. I was a marketing director for Hildebrand Racing in the Pro Stock class, and Mark raced, Mark wrenched on a team for a lot of years, and Ray really was a special man for the sport.
Yeah, him and Jim McClure had a lot of conversations, some really good guys. They set the example for a lot of us young kids that showed up at that track, how to be respectful, how to be there for each other, and couldn't thank them guys enough for all they did for us.
Yep.
Mark, you're dead on. I have posters signed by Ray Price that I own personally as a young racer in my 20s, racing for Greensboro Harley-Davidson or at Rayvon when it was Young's. But then you just mentioned Arlen Ness. Ironically, when we go to Laguna every year, Corey Ness turns loose one of his mechanics back in that pro cycle shop, and he has been there since the very first year. He is there this year. They offer us a mechanic for that event every year.
Isn't that cool?
That's how small this community is and how they step up for us. It's unbelievable.
Yep.
Dude, and I love that. Though, the story that you were talking about when you guys crashed the bike, how all the other teams and everything, that's nothing new. Like we grew up as AMA District 5 race kids, you know what I mean? Racing Sundays and Saturdays at the local dirt tracks and stuff. But that carries through to the pro divisions. It carries through the international racing. Like that's part of it. But the stuff that you're talking about, when you see Harley-Davidson coming back to this style of racing, how much excitement there is, how much personal investment is going on to make all of this happen. It's really, really important. Really important to give the kind of credit for guys like Mark and Tobacco Road Harley, the people that are making commitments like this.
100%. I'm unbelievably excited that we got the opportunity to get a dealer, but we had talked to other dealers, and Mark, it literally was no question. We knew it was the fit. So when Mark called back, it's like everybody else went out. I'm done. I don't need anybody else. We didn't even have our deal done going into Daytona, did we, Mark? We didn't even talk. No. We could talk money, but we had never set up anything. And there we just kind of shook hands, said it's done. We'll figure it out later. And we were already logoed up, shirted up. We were done, and we hadn't even not made it that far yet. And I knew it was a done deal. The relationship.
Well, listen, guys. Sorry. Go ahead.
Speaking of that, I would be remiss not to mention that you can go to the Tobacco Road website and buy your first official limited edition Max Flinders t-shirt. And the t-shirt is a little expensive, but you're supporting the race team. The proceeds on the shirt is what we're using to try to raise some additional funds to support Max and to support Mad Monkey and the race team. So, go order your shirt.
Show me where that's at. Let's just take everybody there.
TobaccoRoadHD.com.
Yeah, there I am.
Where on the site do we find it?
Under the store. There should be a store. Go to the top. Now you're going to quiz me. Hold on.
Tobacco Road Harley
I
Apparel.
can't see.
Wait a minute,
About
let's see.
apparel?
Yeah, TRHD Apparel. Go to the TRHD Apparel.
All right, let's see. Looking.
4 down.
Where is it?
Where'd you go?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm folding under pressure.
Oh, I found it. Mad Monkey Racing too. That's
okay.
it, right?
The only reason
got
I
it.
put you through that is so we can put the link up, and everybody that's watching now can just click that link, and people that are watching this tomorrow and throughout the next week, they can come back and click the link, because sitting around and talking about how something is important and putting your money up and investing in it yourself, if you can't afford to go out to the races and buy a ticket, go buy one of these shirts and make sure these guys are getting out there.
Yep.
Nice.
Love it. The link is up. I'm going to post it again in case you missed it.
Oh, for us guys, this has been a real treat, and for sure, any time that you want to come on the show and you want to talk about stuff that's going on in the league, you want to talk about the efforts that you have going on, or just to let Max tell us some more stories, please come back on the show, because he's a blast. Max, we'll have you on as many times as you want to come on.
I think we should do an after race recap.
Right?
We should come on after each race, do a little recap.
Laguna, if we talk after Laguna, I'll let you know how my mirror is after the Turkey Vulture. I'll let you know if I'm still Gumby after the weekend. I'll hopefully not put any scratches on the bike. Hopefully all good talk, but I'll let you know if I get any more tickets too. But yeah, we'll have a good time.
Hey, we have someone on here that says they're in for one of those T-shirts if he can get Max to autograph it. Do they come with a Max autograph?
Yeah, we can make that happen.
There you go.
Right on. I think that's a great idea.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, fellas. Well, listen, we're putting all the links up, not just the link for the T-shirt, but the link for everybody's Facebook, Instagram, the websites. Make sure you keep in touch and watch these guys, because they're doing extraordinary things here in the name of a Harley-Davidson V-twin style motorcycle racing on fast tracks all around the country, man. Check them out.
Gotta love it.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for coming on tonight, and I appreciate you being patient.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Oh, you guys
Thank
are
you
all
for
rock
having us. We'll
stars.
see you guys at Smokeout. I'll make sure to come up there.
Yes.
And we'll work on seeing what we
dude,
can do with Max.
that'd be
Seriously,
so
see if we can get in there.
All right, awesome.
On.
Man.
Thank you guys so
I'll drive my
much.
truck down. I have no problem with that.
Hey, you're not one to drive your wreck on the way there. Let somebody drive you.
Yeah, I'll bring him. You don't worry about that. I'll bring him. It'll be safer.
Oh, shit.
Right on.
All right, man. You guys take care.
Thank you so much, guys, for having us on.
All right.
Have a great night, guys.
Hey, everybody. You're watching Shop Talk here on the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio Network. We are going to take a look at a feature bike real quick. When we come back on the other side, we're going to do some news and try to bring this thing into the station, because we're getting on overtime, but totally worth it tonight. Totally. Monday night auction item.
Yes,
that T-shirt
that's a
with
great
the Max
idea,
with the
Scooter.
Max signature. Absolutely.
Nice.
All right. Hey, check out this bike.
Out of Focus is brought to you by Garage Build. Submit your build, share your passion. Powered by Dennis Kirk.
Deep Royals from Westland, Michigan. 2006 Stevenson cycle, custom built. It's named after me because I am the second. They call me Deuce. So the bike is basically Deuce's Wild, Annie up on the seat. Let's see what you got. It was built for the chop-off build for the Smokeout 8, the last one in Salisbury. It was actually the chop-off winner that year. It's a reversed flow engine. Front cylinder and rear cylinder are completely switched around. Has a carburetor off a 71 Dodge pickup truck. It's a one barrel Holly. Something that was laying around that me and my dad looked at and decided to try it. Foot clutch, hand shift, 5-speed transmission with a 5-speed transmission case, 6-speed gear set with a 4-speed kicker in it. It has the porthole oil tank in it. It's the cases are S&S, but everything else has been modified up. With it being reverse flowed, with having the exhaust comes out where the intake would normally be. The intake is where the exhaust normally would be. Color was painted by Darren from Liquid Illusions. It's got a plaid look to it. Yes, all the lines are hand bent copper. The brake lines are all hand bent, made into a brass little reservoir up there that feeds the brake and the clutch side both. It has a Evil Engineering belt drive on the other side. Rear brake runs through and uses the brace for the main shaft as a junction block to go to the rear caliper. Actually drilled into it, tapped, and then back out instead of just a one-piece running back. Box that's made that bolts up in, holds all the electrical components. There's no wire ties on this bike. Every place there would be a wire tie if need be. There's an eyelet welded to the frame, so electrical was all planned out ahead of time. Well, when it showed up at the chop off, a lot of people didn't believe it ran. So that was a lot of starting up and firing it up and running it and riding it around to prove that it runs. One of the features it had, one of the things it had to have on the bike, it had to have smoke out 8 on it somewhere on the bike. This one was set up, Darren painted it backwards, that you can read it looking down at the rocker box. You looked at it, if you look at it under the tank, it's completely backwards. You have to look into the rocker box to get that reflection to see it says a smoke out 8. I'm Steve Broyles from Westland, Michigan, and you're watching Shop Talk.
Riding takes you from A to B or just lets you escape. There's a flow to the road you share, so go with it. Eyes open, and always have the Law Tigers by your side. If you've been injured in a motorcycle accident, visit us at lawtigers.com. Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers.
Hey, I'm Ron Fleener,
All right.
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay, we dropped it.
Please Color Factory, you're watching Shop Talk.
Pre-name.
We're ready to race.
What's your strategy?
Go fast.
The Fueling name has been associated with racing and high-performance engines since 1974, when founder Jim Fueling started fueling the flames. From Daytona to Monaco, from the Bonneville Salt Flats to the Indy 500. Fueling is here to compete. Look for the Flying Pig to run up front this year with pilot Ben Bosman. Fueling. No bullshit, just performance.
Okay, so we're in Laconia. You guys know how I feel about coffee. It upsets me very, very much when I have to be away from my coffee cup. I am a diehard coffee guy. Look, Andy at Motorcycles and Coffee. Look what he has hooked us up with. The Nomad. I'm going to let him tell you why this is so cool, but this thing is going to change my life, and it's going to start right now by me getting coffee. But
So it's motorcycles and coffee. We sell a lot of coffee, a lot of tumblers at all the biggest rallies, right? You guys have probably seen us around. I sell the regular tumblers, but everybody, it splashes all over them when they hit a speed bump or something like that in their handlebars. So
Even in my Ford truck.
Yep, everywhere. So I created this tumbler. It's big enough. It's got a button big enough on the top of your gloves. Press the button, take a drink, press it again, and it saves it from leaking and everything else. So this was designed specifically for the motorcycle rider in mind. And it's beautiful. They're $29.99 online, $25 at the rallies. I'll give you a coffee with it if you come by and see me at the rally.
So listen, I know right now there's a whole bunch of guys out there whose eyebrows are going up and they're like, oh, you're gonna get a coffee cup holder on your bike. Yes. What'd I just say? I don't like to be away from my coffee.
There's some purists out there that don't do that, but you can still, one of the big things I do is with the adventure riding I do, backcountry riding and stuff, I can keep this in my panniers, in my bag and stuff. As long as it's up like this. I mean, you're not going to be foolish and put it upside down, right? But if it's like this, you don't have to really worry about it spilling too much or anything. So it's a cool concept, you know?
Hey, you can't be without coffee. I can do without everything else. Don't feed me. I don't have to party or anything anymore. I have to have my coffee, period. Oh, yeah.
There you go. Now flip it upside down.
Sure? Wow. Look, and I wasn't tricking you. There's really coffee in there.
Shut.
Motorcycles and coffee. My man Andy. Get out there, check it out. Hey, listen, welcome back to the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio, and we are rolling into the final part of the show. I think Mark either froze or he's sleeping.
Oh, oh, there he is.
I'm trying to figure out where the coffee cup's at.
See, I got to get you one. I got to get you one of them. You know that thing.
Off my coffee cup.
Listen, I'm sending one to you right now. Dude, that's the coolest thing ever. Are you serious?
I'm in.
It's your new whoopee.
Oh,
He carries it around.
It is. So awesome. So listen, tonight we played you guys a couple things, feature bikes that are on Cycle Source TV, event coverage that's on Cycle Source TV, the stuff that you see on our social media channels, the YouTube especially. Those are short versions of long form content. Now, I understand, slow down for a minute and listen to what I said, especially you young guys. Long form content, stuff that you can watch.
You mean that it's more than 30 seconds?
Yeah, this is scroll proof. You have to actually sit there and pay attention and watch it.
OMG.
But you can get more than your fair share of it over at Cycle Source TV. We just got a great new piece up of Doug the Polisher. Takes you all through what it takes to actually be in the polishing business and be Doug Baumgartner. He's a trip, but
he's a character and a half. Oh my God.
Oh my God, yeah, he is hands down one of the funnest people to hang out with.
How about it? So we got great content that we just put up from him. Tomorrow at some point, the Born Free coverage that you saw here, that 40-minute program with all of the Born Free, every single bike that was in the Invited Builder Corral, stuff from our trip to Minnesota for the Garage Build show, feature bikes like the one you just saw tonight, this Road Glide that we shot down in Daytona. Tons of great stuff. Get out to cyclesourcetv.com. Check it out. It's like a magazine, but you don't have to read it. You just sit back and we'll read it to you and show you a bunch of cool videos.
It's a lazy man's magazine? Is that what we call it?
So we are going long into the show tonight,
I
boy.
know.
This has been a late one. Of course, we got started really late, and I apologize to everybody for that. Next week, it's important we tell you about this right now. Next week, we are going to Minnesota and Harley-Davidson's homecoming. How we're going to do both of these, I'm not sure. But because of that, we are going to put next Sunday's show on Monday night instead of Sunday. So mark your calendars for it now. Next week's show is Monday night instead of Sunday. I think the only thing that we have to go through at this point to close this one out is to let Heather do her magic event
Oh,
program.
are we doing the events?
Yeah, let's hurry up and do it.
Aw,
Real
all
quick.
right.
Here we go. You ready?
Shop Talk is brought to you by Cyclefish. Cyclefish, the most complete list of motorcycle events in the U.S.
All right, coming up next week, Sufu Moto Fest, Sioux Falls, Harley-Davidson, motorcycles, all the good things, July 12th through 14th.
Why is Big D boycotting coffee?
What? Also next weekend,
What is
Harley-Davidson
with him?
Homecoming, beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin, July 10th through 13th. Check it out.
Plus, there's snakes and eagles and lightning bolts. And
I actually dig that design. AJ, get me a shirt. Sturgis Pre-Party, July 31st, Main Street, Mitchell, in front of the world's only Corn Palace, Cycle Source Custom Bike Show.
And we're also doing some old time rodeo games.
Yeah, a little precursor.
We're
little
not going to do
practice for Sturgis.
We're not going to do any of the adult. We're going to keep it PG. So we're doing like pin drop, barrel roll, and slow race.
Yep.
$100 per
Yep.
event. And there's a rodeo belt buckle because in this part of the country, if you don't win a belt buckle when you do something, they send people to your house, they burn it down, and they ride you to the edge
Well,
of town.
not quite, but you are a journalist.
They're
It's
not
okay,
real.
yeah.
They're not happy about it. Let's just say they're not happy. So
Monday,
we have a belt
August-
buckle.
Monday, August 4th.
Oh.
Free.
Free.
Poppy's Old School Chopper Show at Full Throttle. You can get more information at fullthrottlesaloon.com.
And it's still crooked. Gary Raphael, see you guys. Bye, Annie.
Bye, Gary. Bye, Annie. Sunday, August 3rd, 19th Annual Cycle Source Custom Bike Show. Tons
Okay.
of cool prizes, good stuff, 30 classes. Be there or you're a loser.
Loser.
AMCA Vintage Day, also at the Iron Horse Saloon. If you have an AMCA card, you can park your bike right inside and get a free sack lunch.
Oh my God, look at this. Michael Lichter is getting a Lifetime Achievement Award this year in Sturgis.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still going to put in a full day of work and come with us on the ride.
Right?
He's dude, no
He's
one
such a
works as
badass.
hard as Michael Lichter. Nobody does.
He's a trooper.
Oh my God.
MFL.
He's this is our 19th annual Run to the Line. Michael's going to be doing pictures, and we're going to get him whisked down the hill from the Hall of Fame breakfast just in time to get on a bike and ride with us to Nemo Guest Ranch. So be there.
All right. Closing out our Sturgis event is the Motorcycle Rodeo and Biker Olympics, also at the Iron Horse Saloon.
Okay, I want to talk about this for a minute because you bastards broke us last year.
Dude.
You broke so many of our mini bikes that we're not doing mini bike drag racing anymore. We're going to do mini bike circle track because you can't be trusted.
No,
I'm
y'all
not
are
mad.
maniacs.
I'm not mad. I'm
Maniacs.
just disappointed.
Yeah, ridiculous.
No more mini bike drag racing.
They were going for the wall like they were breaking out of prison last
know,
year.
dude.
Like, seriously.
Like they were breaking out of prison. That was funny, Heather. I could give you credit.
Deadbeat Retreat 2025 Blackthorn Resort, August 22nd through 24th, deadbeatcustoms.com. And he's our guest next week.
Oh, you beat me to
Haha.
it.
You know, the
Virginia
competition is
City
actually
Roundup.
right there between the two of you. You know that, right?
Harley-Davidson Choppers Magazine, Virginia City Roundup, August 22nd through 23rd, 2025, choppersmagazine.com for more information.
Okay, that's all the events we're doing tonight.
Not even Smoke Out?
Smoke out.
Smoke Out. Smoke Out. It doesn't suck. You should be there.
Wait a minute.
SmokeOutRally.com. Get
Wait
your
a
tickets.
minute. Wait a minute. We have to do smoke out because we have to get.
geez.
I haven't seen enough of Pat Patterson lately.
Oh, good Lord.
What?
Exactly.
Okay, smoke out September.
September 4th through 7th, Salisbury, North Carolina, Rowan County Fairgrounds. Saving Able is a headliner. Drag races. Outhouse drives.
why.
All sorts of stuff.
That's why Dennis Stauber says third-degree burn, spilled coffee on my bibs on Scoot. Dennis,
boy.
listen, I'm buying you one of these cups. I'm buying you one of these.
Safety
and send it
first.
to you. Yep.
Andy, we're going to need a wholesale discount.
Yeah, we're going to need a bunch of these cups. Tiger Ward said he loved the show this week. So in other
Just
words,
this week, the rest of them
every
suck.
other week, you're a bunch of losers.
Loser.
Well, I mean, well.
Hey, listen, man, you guys are digging the show. Make sure you tell your friends and neighbors.
Sharing is caring.
More importantly, all those logos up top, make sure you're supporting them because those are the companies that help us make this happen every week. And we couldn't do it without them, especially Dennis Kirk and Clockworks for giving us a place to set this shit show up. Until next week when it won't be
The
Sunday.
same chopper.
It'll be.
It will be
Monday.
There we go.
Monday.
So next week.
You
when
never
it's
remember that. So just
same
saying.
chopper time plus 1 day.
Same chopper channel. Same channel.
Plus 1
I'll
day.
be sitting here on Sunday, Felicia.